Welcome students. Today we will understand about financial institution and markets in detail. As we know, a financial system operates through financial markets and institutions. Financial markets are the centers or arrangements that provide facilities for buying and selling of financial claims and services. The market deals in financial assets and instruments of various kinds such as currency, deposits, checks, bills, and bonds, and many more. The structure of financial system. The structure of financial system of any country consists of financial institutions and markets. So we can classify these in two broad categories: banking and non-banking classification. Second is intermediaries and non-intermediaries. Financial markets are divided into organized and unorganized markets. Financial instruments are either short term or long term or medium term. We can say claim, assets, or securities. The corporations, financial institutions, individuals, and government trade in financial products, or these markets either directly or through brokers and dealers, and unorganized exchanges or unorganized exchanges. Functions of financial system is to mobilize resources, allocate resources, facilitate pooling of risk, facilitate distribution and diversification, as well as hedging of risk, facilitate exchange of goods and services. That also offers various financial instruments to suit the preferences of savers as well as investors, increase in liquidity of financial claims, facilitate better portfolio management. Financial development of any economy depends upon its financial structure. Financial structure of any economy in turn depends upon the economic progress of the country. If economy has a strong and sound market, debt market, insurance companies, pension funds, mutual funds, etc., is that an effective non-banking financial sector that shows a high level of financial development in that particular country. Now we come to the role of financial system in increasing long-term prosperity. It is a point of debate. It has been said that there has been a direct link of prosperity and long-term growth in effective and efficient financial system. A strong financial system results in a good economic progress, reduction in poverty, increase in the standard of living of the people of that particular country. But there are many questions to this link. The role of financial system in the economic development depends upon happenings of many factors, which, if does not happen, will not result into a growth. Importance of financial markets. As we know, the development of appropriate financial institution and markets in promoting economic growth of any nation is imperative. In recent years, deliberate efforts has been made by the central banks in the emerging markets for development of financial markets, especially after fiscal crisis that occurred in 1990 in different parts of the world. Central bankers around the world have recognized the need for a sound functioning of financial market to enable efficient use of monetary policy instruments. Sound financial market helps in mobilization of domestic savings and improves the allocative efficiency of financial intermediation. Only sound domestic financial markets can cope up with the turbulence of external forces present in the external environment by developing hedging instruments. Efficient financial markets provide various other indirect benefits, such as rapid accumulation of physical assets and human capital, more stable investment financing, and faster technological progress. Measures to develop a strong and vibrant, efficient financial market. A well functioning of financial market with the required depth and liquidity requires various financial market reforms. Such reforms must be implemented at an early stage to improve market infrastructure. Some measures are in a country, if we want stable, vibrant, and effective financial market, so there should be macroeconomic stability, reasonable, tolerable government deficit, low and stable inflation rates, and realistic exchange rates, sound and efficient financial institutions and structure, prudential regulation and supervision, strong creditor rights, contract enforcement, and appropriate legal framework. Every financial markets have certain functions. Some of the functions are listed below. First and foremost is borrowing and lending function. Financial markets permit the transfer of funds, means the purchasing power from one agent to another for either investment or consumption purposes. Price determination. Financial markets provide vehicles by which prices are set both for new issued financial assets and for existing stock of financial assets. Information aggregation and coordination. Financial markets act as collectors, aggregators, and coordinators of information about financial asset values and flow of funds from lenders to borrowers. Risk sharing. Financial markets allow a transfer of risk from those who undertake investments to those who provide funds to those invest. Liquidity. Financial market provide the holders of financial assets with a chance to resell or liquidate these assets. Efficiency. Financial market reduce transaction cost and information cost and thereby increase efficiency of financial system. In attempting to categorize the way financial markets operate, one must consider both the various types of financial institutions that participate in such markets and the various ways in which these markets are structured. Now we can classify financial market, or we may understand it as a structure of financial markets. Financial markets can be classified in a following manner: functional classification, institutional, and sectoral classification. Functional classification is based on the term of credit, whether the credit supply is short term or long term. Accordingly, markets are called money markets and capital markets. As we know, money market is for short term liquidity needs and capital market for a long term investment. Now we come to the sectoral classification. The sectoral classification is the classification based on broad three sectors of the economy, namely agriculture industry, manufacturing industry, service industry, and talks about the credit needs. Various classifications are not mutually exclusive because we know economy is interlinked. Their aim is to give a broad view of the financial markets. There are several dimensions and functions. We combine all the above classifications together to explain every part of the financial market. The institutional classification. The institutional classification, it talks about the objectives of the institution. In other words, it indicates whether the financial institution have commercial objective or cooperative objective and whether they belong to organized or unorganized sector. Financial markets are broadly divided under two heads: money market, that is meant for short term funds market; capital market, that is related to long term funds market. Money market. Money market is the most important segment of the financial system. Through it, the demand for money for a short term and the supply of money attains equilibrium and liquidity in the market through various monetary policy tools can be attained by the central bank. We know central bank is RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. The term short term is this market refers to a period starting from overnight up to a year. Since this market provides short-term funds to deficit spenders, it does this mainly by mobilizing short-term surpluses of both financial and non-financial units, including state governments, local governments, and quasi-government bodies. Bank sells deposits of various kinds, participation certificates, and bills discounted. Treasury bills are also sold by RBI. The RBI also serves as the lender of last resort to the market. Efficient and well-developed system facilitates movement of funds from one region to another rapidly at a low cost. There is interconnectedness between network of branches and offices, rapid communication and remittances of funds which enables regions with shortage of funds to get funds from surplus regions in no time, and thus liquidity is maintained in the economy. Capital market. Capital market is a market for efficient and effective allocation of resources from the surplus units, generally households, to deficit unit, generally corporates. Through the allocation of resources, it facilitates both corporates and households sharing of risk and earning of profit. Capital market is considered to be the market for long-term funds. Capital market provides long-term funds to corporates and government in the form of equity capital and debt. In the words of Goldsmith, the capital market of a modern economy has two basic functions. First one is the allocation of savings among users and investment. Second, the facilitation of the transfer of existing assets, tangible or intangible, among individual economic units. Dear students, now we will summarize the lecture. Summary points are: first one, what we understood in this module. A financial market is a market in which financial assets are traded. Borrowing and lending is facilitated in this market through the sale of newly issued and previously issued financial assets. Financial markets provide a form to facilitate financial transactions through creation and sale of financial securities. These are the engine of growth of any economy. Government and companies needed to raise capital. Both government and companies both need financial markets. Broadly, these are divided into money and capital market. So we can say government and companies both require markets, financial markets, and that can be divided into money market and capital market. Money market incorporates call money market, treasury bills market, commercial bills market, market for commercial papers, and many more. Capital market incorporates stock market for both industrial securities and government securities. With this, I would like to thank all of you. In this summary module, we understood the financial markets and institution in detail. Thank you, students. Happy learning.